Alright, I'm gonna kind of give my thoughts about the whole Palworld drama, because I keep seeing it all over YouTube, and I've been playing a lot of Palworld, because it's fucking fun. And I don't know, I've just been seeing a lot of drama, and honestly, it's all over my fucking TikTok too. I'm just watching shit, and like, I read the comments, and people are just fucking having pissing wars, man, over the game, and it's funny. Also, it's fucking stupid, the things people are saying about it, the people that are against it or causing the drama. And like, people just have like some bullet points I'm just gonna talk about. Well, like, from what I've seen that online, or like saw or like heard, that it was made about like with 4 people, give or take, and apparently they didn't even know how to make games in the first place. They kind of learned along the way in the development process. And like a lot of the like rage and anger behind it is a lot of Pokemon fans being mad that Palworld is doing better than, because the biggest thing is people comparing it to Pokemon, which like you can see why, but also like at the same time that it's fucking different. But people like to say it's the same. I mean, I catch myself calling the pals Pokemon, which is kind of fair, just because it's more ingrained, and I don't know, more, it's the OG game Pokemon in terms of like the idea of it, so like it kind of it's sticking more, but like we should probably separate it. But anyways, like a lot of Pokemon fans are just mad that Pokemon is dropping the ball for like the last 10 years. The last few games have just been mediocre. Pokemon designs have been trash lately, the newest ones, like in the past few years. Like, they're just coming out with like Pokemon for like a bunch of like household items that don't make sense. Like the initial stuff, like the first, and like I would say the first up, I don't know, I haven't played Pokemon in ages, well, besides since Sword and Shield, but I would say that like upwards of the generation of like where I know it was still fucking good was Heart Gold and Soul Silver, because I played the shit out of those. I think I put like over 2,000 hours between the both of them. And that's another fucking thing. Why do you need to buy 2 different Pokemon games, you know, just for access to different Pokemon? It is money grab. It doesn't make sense. It's a dumb concept. Also, like, having, at least within the same generation, it used to be cool just because, you know, like somebody would have Pokemon Red, somebody would have Pokemon Blue, you know, and there were like different Pokemon. And back when you would like sit around and trade with people, like you'd bring your DS or your Game Boy to school and you would like trade, you know, that was when that used to be like really good. That was peak of Pokemon era, but there's just been dropping off slowly because it's the same concept of COD, you know, just releasing the same shit every year, and it just doesn't make sense anymore for them to be doing it in that way. They kind of stepped away, Pokemon has recently, to like kind of expand out, going like further into 3D exploration. They Scarlet and Violet was the most recent one where they kind of stepped away fully from the typical style, where they went full like open world with like tiered gameplay between each area. And I will say that they're going in the right direction, but the issue is what I've been at least bantering, or like not really bantering because my wife doesn't really play the games, but I've been at least like ranting to my wife about is that like Game Freak or Pokemon just needs to step away from Nintendo and go PC if they really want a future, or go back to top down, like back to Origins with like top down, like where you can't like explore 3D because the Switch or OLED Switch can't handle it because of the requirements, like the technical requirements to actually run something like Palworld. You need a PC for, right? So like if they want to create a game where it's full and like it shows a bunch of stuff, they need a better device for it. Instead of having like horribly color washed or empty games, like you cannot say that the Scarlet and Violet have, it's on the same level as Starfield in terms of emptiness. And, like seriously, Pokemon has just been hiding behind the IP and the hype behind it just to grab some money. They haven't really, they've slowly been innovating, but like they have not fucking just done a good job at all. Like the graphics don't really matter in the end if the gameplay is good, but the issue is this empty world with like some Pokemon, and the Pokemon like animations are trash lately. I don't know. There's a bunch of issues with it, and that's what pisses Pokemon fans off about Palworld, is that Palworld did something that Pokemon hasn't done or tried like successfully done in like the last decade. And people are just mad that Palworld is better at that. And the thing is, like Palworld isn't Pokemon. It's completely different. A lot of people are saying they just ripping off Pokemon in gameplay and like assets and like design, but like there's some gameplay aspects that are fucking relatable, but like catching the pals, the way you catch them and stuff, but like everything's like reskinned, renamed, like it's different. Can't say like the idea behind it's the same. There's inspiration taken from it, right? But honestly, the game is more based around survival crafting, base building. At its core, Palworld is a survival crafting game. The pals are just what fills up the world, and like the pals are what help run your base, help craft, you know? And honestly, people have just been like Palworld is just the 3D Pokemon-esque / like survival crafting game that people have been wanting for years. This is something players have wanted, and they finally got it, and that's why it's so popular. And some people are just mad about it, and they're just fucking butthurt about shit. And again, like people are just saying that Palworld is just ripping off assets or ripping off ideas, but it's not really ripping. It's not ripping off ideas, you know. It's just using inspiration from it, like any other fucking company or like any other game. Every other game is an inspiration of a different game. Every other game gives an idea. Games take inspiration from movies. Movies take inspiration of games. You know, fucking one shoe company takes inspiration from another shoe company to create the same exact fucking shoe. Like you don't see people slandering fucking pitchforks to the streets about there being like different shoe companies, you know, that Nike did it first or Adidas did it first or, you know, some other fucking thing, you know. It's all the drama around Palworld is stupid. And it's just not needed. And you know, a lot of people complain that it's in early access, so it's only good now, but it's gonna be bad later down the line. But honestly, it's one of the best early access games that's come out in early access. I mean, granted, there's other games that have been early access for years that are fucking fantastic now, like 7 Days to Die. Honestly, that's the only other early access game I play. That's the survival crafting, you know. Most survival crafting games are in early access. And people worry that Palworld is just gonna be forever in early access. Most survival crafting games are forever in early access because you can always add new content to it, you know? And most, like, honestly, I rather prefer Palworld be forever in early access than it to come out of early access and then any new content that gets added to the game becomes a DLC and you have to pay for it. Honestly, I'd rather spend $30 to buy Palworld and play it for hundreds of hours or whatever amount of time, you know. Play it for every update, play it for, you know, everything. I'd rather play it like that than have it be fully released now and then every update afterwards becomes a paid DLC. You know? A lot of people don't think about that when it comes to early access games. Early access games are games made for the community, not for, you know, shareholders or publishing companies. It's for the developers and for the community behind the game, you know? And also it's a good way for, you know, people to gauge, like, game devs to, you know, gauge the hype around the game. If there's a lot of hype around it and people really love the game, they don't keep making content for it. But if, like, say it drops off and no one really likes it, then maybe they'll take it off early access and then make it fully released and then just leave it at that and do occasional updates to the game that just fix, you know, bugs or problems. And, you know, there's other drama around Palworld potentially using AI, but it's just made up shit. And even if they did use AI, it's not like AI like, the game's fun. So what does it matter, you know? A lot of people are being butthurt over nothing because of it. And just making up shit just to cause drama. It's dumb. Yeah, a lot of people are saying that the game's gonna die off in like a month or two. I don't think it will. Or even if it does, who fucking cares, you know? You paid $30 for a game, you got a month worth of gameplay out of it. You played it, you fucking had fun playing it. That's all that matters. If you buy a game and you only play it for 3 hours, but you had fun playing it for the 3 hours, so be it. You know? Again, this last year's COD campaign died off before you even downloaded it fully. Because the campaign was shorter than the download time. Like, what the fuck? Who cares? The other games have died off faster than other games. Who cares if a game is so overhyped or hyped up and everyone buys it and only plays it for like a month or two? So be it. At least they'll have potentially maybe a steady community behind it that will play it every new update, and it'll keep the devs, you know, engaged and also keep the community engaged. That's all that matters. If there's people that are happy with the state of a game or whatnot, why are you fucking pissing on them? Why are you starting drama over it? Like, who cares? Who cares if the game dies off majority, most games die off. Any game dies off. But like, there's always gonna be players or people who play a game for years, and there's gonna be people who play a game for a month and then move to the next game. There's so many games out in the world right now, like so many games coming out. There's so many games that are probably in people's backlogs that they're like trying to beat. Like I have a backlog that's like years long that I have to go through. And there's a backlog of games I started, playthroughs I've started for YouTube that I have to go back and finish. But there's so many new games coming out that it's hard to. And every year I'm like, oh, I'm not gonna buy any games this year. I'm just gonna sit back and I'm gonna finish games I've, bought, already paid for, or I've started playing. But then fucking I can't, because there's constantly new fucking games coming out that are good. I want to play them. So sure, I might play a game for a month straight, or I might play a game for 2 weeks straight and drop 40-ish hours, maybe 60 hours in it, and then I would be happy. That's all I need out of a game, So who cares if a game dies off in a month or 2 months or even a year? Who cares? It's not your fucking problem. And like, the biggest issue that people are having with, honestly, the game ultimately is that people are mad about the pals, about it looking too much like Pokemon, that they're stealing assets, or they're one-to-one comparisons when honestly they're not. And who cares if they use inspiration of Pokemon or other like Pokemon art styles to create their pals? Who cares? It's not your problem. It's Nintendo's problem if they want to do something about it, but they haven't. At least not that we've seen. They haven't done anything about it. So who cares? It's not your problem. It's not anyone's problem. Fucking just play your game. Play some other games. Get over it. Get over yourself. Leave people who want to enjoy the game alone. I mean, people are trying to start shit in people's streams or on YouTube, people's content about the game. If you don't want to play it, don't play it. If you don't want to see content about it, just don't watch it. If you don't want to do anything, just don't engage. It's the same thing with like the Hogwarts Legacy shit or things like that. It's just like, if you have a problem with something, don't do it. Don't participate in it then. Don't bring attention to it. Don't try and, keyboard warrior your way through it. You're just causing trouble for people who are just minding their business. Try and have fun in a world that's full of shit. So that's my thoughts on the Palworld drama. And I don't give a fuck what anybody's really saying about it. Like, what people are saying doesn't really affect me. I just wanted to get my thoughts out about it. I guess you could say it does get to me, but also it doesn't. Like, I just don't care. I'm gonna keep playing the game. I'm gonna keep having fun. Yeah, and that's about it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in either the next video or my next stream. So, toodles for now.